So, continuations about the electronic distribution channels. So, first we have CRS. So, if you are like most RMs, you work in a branded hotel, as well as if you are like most RMs, your brand is developed a CRS who is mandated by your hotel owner's franchise agreement. The CRS accepts the reservations from the variety of electronic and non-electronic distribution channels and feeds these reservations to your hotel PMS. So today, most of brands accomplish the electronically. A few smaller hotel brands, however, still operate manual system. In either case, room sales are communicated to your property while rooms availability and room rate information must be communicated from your property to the CRS. Because you will set your room rates based on your revenue optimizations strategies, it is your responsibility to ensure that your electronic distribution channels, as well as all others you use, have up-to-the-minute informations about your rates. Also, due to walk-in, check-out, groups, and other property room sales, rooms inventory availability must be continually updated in your CRS. In increasing numbers of brands, an entry in a hotel PMS is automatically registered in the database of the franchisor's CRS, and vice versa. So, if you operate an independent hotel, you will also need a way to let your electronic distribution channels know about your room's availability and the rates of your charging. In that case, you may purchase your CRS services from the hotel representations firm offering into you and the number of other independent hotels. As either the franchise or independent property, you will incur charges and fees associated with your use of a CRS. So this may include monthly maintenance fees, per reservation fees, and fees for connecting to the electronic distribution channels such as GDS or IDS. So, beginning with the introductions of the 1965 of Holidecks, the Holiday Inn's initial CRS, addition CRS were the inevitable outgrowth of each hotel brands and the regional central reservations offices. In the past, dialed 1800, your favorite hotel was a great travel agent's on consumer but difficult for RMs. This easy to understand when you recognize that rooms inventory and maintain the hotel PMS was not electronically updated when a sale was made in the hotel brand's central reservations office. With 100 of reservations work in each brand's central reservations office and with the multiple office locations, it was hard to keep inventory level up to update. Rate changes will also difficult to communicate to a CRS. Consider, for example, the communication challenge faced by RMs who wish to submit room rate code change a single room type of a single day 6 months into future to thousands in travel agents, then you can appreciate the communications difficult faced by these early RMs. So about dun sa early RMs, usually mga manual yung mga RMs na ginagawa nila. Kaya ang hirap i-update na pag may nagbabago na sa mga price, sa rates, or sa availability ng room na i-reservation. Compare dito sa CRS kasi connected siya sa PMS ng isang hotel. Automatically, nag-a-update siya kapag meron ng hindi na available yung room, nagbago na yung fee, or kaya ay meron silang idinagdag na other accommodations about dun sa ipapabook nilang reservation. Today, a hotel brand will utilize the CRS in the operations of its call center. So, ang call center naman is a physical locations maintained by a brand or for its customers who prepare a book by their room reservations via telephone. So, di ba meron tayong other way ng pagre-reservations, yung telephone conversations, at saka pwede din yung sa internet. So, to communicate each property, inventory, and rate informations on its own brand website as well as on the variety of distribution sites linked with the brand at own site. As the cost provided leave reservationists continues to increase along with the buyer's comfort in using the internet for room bookings, call center volumes may continue to decline. They may be significant revenue source, but in most cases now generates fewer reservations than the brand's website. When combined, however, it is common for all call centers and brand-owned website to contribute 10 to 50% of the franchise hotel's total rooms revenues. So, to demonstrate the effectiveness of their CRS, most brands provide RMs with monthly or frequently CRS business generations reports. So, these reports typically include with the information about the designated time period, usually monthly, and the prior year's equivalent time period data. So, the data reported most often includes information about, first is the reservations made, next is the reservations canceled ADR, achieved, and sales revenue generated, reservations made times ADR, average length of stay, and source of reservations. So year to date, data will often to include in these reports as well. RMs analyzing trends in the data can evaluate effectiveness of their CRS and delivering call center generated reservations, as well as those delivered by a brand website. So increasingly, this type of reports provide the detailed data about the revenue generations achieved by its electronic distributions channels when those channels are interfaced with the CRS. So looking forward, as franchisors seek increased communications between their brand-operated CRS and your property-based PMS, expect the difference between these two tools become increasingly blurred. Already, several chains mandated to use both of their CRS and a PMS system designed exclusively for it. So, this figure 8.7 illustrates the information exchange between the hotel PMS and CRS of hotels utilized. So, this was the figure. As you can see, it will exchange between CRS and the hotel PMS. So, they are exchanging data from each other. Now, let's move on about the GDS. So, you have learned about the GDS originated with the airlines. So, today, the companies that make up the GDS are still an important part of the airlines, car rental, and hotel industry's availability of sell their products. So, though the GDS is no longer owned by the airlines, it remains powerful distribution channels. So, lodging RMs, new industry must be recognized that the GDS survive in internet age and fact grew because of it, a very significant reason that has not changed. So to better understand the reason, consider that the travel agents and corporate travel managers seeking to book a room of an unfamiliar city, would the buyer likely make a telephone call to each hotel and the new city to inquire about the rates of the availability? No, even if the buyer knew which hotel properties existed, the time required to contact each would be excessive. So, could the buyer simply contact every hotel chain CRS either via telephone or internet website and choose the room? Not likely. That would assume the buyer knew the names of the chains operating in the city and would be willing to contact each one individually. So, the time required to do much prohibitive. So consider further that is the room buyers of purchase airline tickets and the car rental at the same time. The buyer could go to each hotel chain CRS, then contact each airlines, and then contact each car rental company. These are the faster, better, and cheaper way to do this, and it is the GDS. So as you can see, imbes na i-contact pa nga daw nila yung mga hotel chain CRS, mas maganda or mas practical way na papadaanin na rin sa GDS. So after nearly 50 years of continuous operations and advancement, its member companies are very adept in providing convenience, comprehensive and comparative and one-step travel services shopping. If you now better understand why professionals buyers use the GDS, you can appreciate what Norm Rose 26 years travel industry veteran, meant which posted following on his travel vlog. The power of the GDS lies in the 100,000 travel agency desktops deployed, as well as the engine behind online travel agencies OTAs such as Expedia. No single company, no matter how well funded, displays dominance of the GDS in the market overnight. So kung mapapansin nyo, kapag mga CRS lang, usually yung mga travel nila short distance lang. Kapag gusto mo na mag-travel outside the country, mas maganda kung gagamitin na natin yung GDS. Mapa-telephone man or sa website nila. So, figure 8.8 illustrates the information exchange between the PMS and its CRS in the GDS. So, kumpara kanina sa figure 8.7, yung pagpapalitan lang ng informations ng PMS at CRS, ngayon naman ipapakita din yung kung paano magpapalitan ng mga data kasama na yung GDS. So, astute readers will recognize the existence of the GDS changes the RM's world. When your room types, their accompanying rates are displayed only on your PMS and CRS, whose data are displayed on your brand's internet sites. Potentially buyers can compare your revenue management decisions only to those other hotels within your brand and perhaps within the family of brands operated by your franchisor. Figure 8.9, however, illustrate the way your hotel looks to the GDS user. So this was the figure 8.9. So GDS, under the GDS is your hotel rates and availability, competitors A, competitors B, and competitors C. So with this type of electronic distribution channel, makikita mo as a traveler, mako-compare mo yung mga prices ng mga reservations na pwede mong kunin from the hotel, from one hotel to the different type of hotel. Where e-commerce and the GDS are concerned, things move exceedingly quickly. Those RMs who do not keep up and make appropriate changes to their optimization strategies will be quickly left behind. As noted information technology expert Michael Hugos observed, agility means that you are faster than your competition. Agility time frames are measured in the weeks and the months, not years. So effective RMs can be best managed the GDS when they first is understand all fees associated with accepting and reservations via each member of the GDS used their hotels. 2. Monitor the communications link between their property and the GDS. Number 3. Ensure that the information included in their GDS listing is accurate and up-to-date. Review the data on a regular basis. Ensure all approved rates codes loaded for use by the GDS are accurate and up-to-date. Number 5, ensure the top revenue-producing travel agency and wholesalers are well informed about property, products, improvements, and enhancement as they occur. Ensure travel agents' commissions are paid in a timely manner. Regularly analyze the revenue productions reports supplied by the GDS, including the data sorted by booking source, by travel agents, by room type, from room rate code, and by country or regions. And lastly, make a review of the monthly or more frequently GDS report, part of the revenue optimization team's regularly scheduled meeting agenda. And lastly is the IDS. Despite the differences of how various IDS sites operate, for RNs it is most convenient to consider them part of a single group. Viewed in that way, 2004 was the landmark year for the IDS. It was in that year, for the first time, that the number of the room reservations made via internet exceeded those made on the GDS. Well over 50% of all travelers now go online to book or research room reservations. Over 80% of all online reservations are routed through the franchisor's operated website. So as a result, the impact of IDS on the revenue optimization strategies is great and well undoubtedly. So, despite the plethora of information related to the IDS room sales, RMs should first recognize that the selling rooms on the internet truly is not rocket science, nor it is so complex to must be left only to online marketing expert who see the world strictly in terms of the banner ads, synergy engine optimization tools, meta tags, click-through rates, and web analytics. Certainly, this and other unique aspects of e-commerce and web advertising are important, but it's more important to apply and fundamental principles of buying and selling to the internet and to recognize that the effective ideas channel managed is not synonymous with the effective revenue management. A hotel's revenue management efforts consist of much more than its IDS management efforts. Now I'll show the figure 8.10, the components of the IDS. First is we have the property website, and this content controlled by the hotel and the hotel franchisor. The second one is the third-party website. It was content controlled by the intermediaries. And lastly, the Web 2.0, which is content controlled by the guests and the room buyers. So property website is how, when it comes to the properties owned by own website, perhaps the most important considerations for RMs is the site's which existence. In too many cases, individual hotel properties still do not have their own vanity website that do not reflect well on their properties. In addition, web addresses for individual franchise hotels are virtually indisseparable to guests. In many other cases, individual hotels have the presence of the web but is weak and ineffective. This problem is epidemic and historic. So in the early 1990s, many hotels were slow to develop in their own proprietary websites. Next is about the third-party internet sites. So third-party internet sites, or TPIS, are those operated by the variety of travel intermediaries not directly controlled by the hotel. To best understand this, it is very important that you understand how they first came into the being. And lastly is the Web 2.0. Is the term commonly used to describe a social networking sites, video sharing site, vlog, tweets, and or ever-changing other internet sites providing consumer-generated media, or CGM. So in the hotel industry, Web 2.0 is the critical importance because increasingly, it is how consumers share, in print or via video, their hotel experience with others. So this shared experience affect room buyers' purchasing decisions much more those paid for advertising, how big the impact, and according to the e-marketer.